The Cupertino Chamber of Commerce. Where does it stand on development issues in town? Who are its decision makers? And what is it doing for the community? I'm Donna Cray, Public Information Officer for the City of Cupertino. You'll find out the answers to those questions and more when I talk with Frank Strazzarino, Executive Director of the Cupertino Chamber. Next on Take 53.
Clint Eastwood is a little upset.
Seems some misguided individuals out there are abusing our public lands, and I don't like it. And I don't think you do either. Vandalizing parks and robbing historic sites, or overrunning wild areas, those are ours, and we have to save them. As I see it, these clowns can either clean up their act or get out of town.
Write Take Pride in America. Post Office Box 1339, Jessup, Maryland 20794.
This is a game you can learn something from. Watch closely. One of these players is mentally retarded. For years, the Association for Retarded Citizens, the ARC, has been helping thousands of people with mental retardation lead healthy, normal lives, right along with everyone else. That's why when you support the Association for Retarded Citizens, everybody wins. Help build the ARC.
Welcome to Take 53. Frank Strazzarino has been Executive Director of the Cupertino Chamber of Commerce since November 1988. He's got a bachelor's degree in political science and a teaching credential as well. He also has about 10 years of banking experience. And before coming to Cupertino, he was the Executive Director of the South San Francisco Chamber of Commerce. Frank, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good. With all that diverse background that I just mentioned, can you tell me how you have found it applicable to your present position?
First, let me say it's been a real pleasure being in the community of Cupertino. It's a marvelous area, and the people have been very friendly. The things that I've done in the past have helped prepare me for the job that I presently have. All the things I've done do involve me with people, which I love the best. While teaching, I really enjoyed working with the students and a diverse group of individuals. In banking, I learned a few of the rules of finance and was able to develop some of my skills there. And one thing that I really enjoyed in banking was when I got to do some of the public relations to build up my branch. So basically, in the process of doing that, I got very involved in chamber work and community work, and that's when I first started to think about the chamber as a career. I moved to the South San Francisco Chamber, where I worked for 3 years and loved that, and now I'm truly excited about the opportunity of continuing here in this community.
Good. Can you tell me a little bit about how the Cupertino Chamber is structured? How many members do we have here?
Certainly. We have about 560 members. They're made up of businesses, individuals, elected officials, just community members throughout the city of Cupertino, and also some of the areas adjacent to Cupertino. We are led by a board of directors, which is set up of 20 community leaders. And again, it's a very diverse group, which reflects our membership. We have the president of Cupertino National Bank, we have superintendent of schools, we have representatives from Apple Computer, MeasureX, Hewlett-Packard, Tandem. We also have small business owners and some professionals. And we feel that group is able to represent the diverse membership that we have. The board of directors helps to set some of the policy for the chamber, and then the staff is asked to help implement that and carry it out.
And how many staff members do you have?
There's 4 of us all together, myself and the 3 ladies in the office. 2 are part-time, 1 is full-time, and we work together to keep the chamber running, get the information flow out, and answer many of the questions that come in from members of the community and other organizations, potential future residents of Cupertino, and just individuals who are lost on South Ienza Boulevard and drop in for some directions.
Frank, what exactly is the function of the chamber?
The basic function of the chamber is to promote the economic and business welfare of the city of Cupertino. We are here to help stimulate and promote business, to make people aware of the importance of shopping Cupertino and what that means to the community. We're also involved dispensing information, whether it's city directories or maps or informational statistics on the city. And again, we do send a lot of information to prospective residents and to businesses that may want to come in and locate in Cupertino.
Your predecessor, Kathy Miles, was considered very successful in injecting a certain amount of desire for community involvement among chamber members, and I understand she also had a great deal to do with increasing the membership of the chamber. Can you tell me how easy or difficult has it been to follow that lead from Kathy?
Right. Kathy did a wonderful job as executive director. I've often joked that it would be much easier to follow someone who had done a poor job. Kathy did so well in really building up the programs of the chamber, innovating, implementing new ideas that in some ways it could be said that it was a hard act to follow. Naturally, Kathy had help from a strong board of directors, and I enjoy that same help. But again, Kathy did great. In some ways, it would be a lot easier if the chamber was really struggling or not doing as well, because the question I face is, where do we go from here? We have a chamber that's very strong. It's well perceived as one of the better states in the Bay Area, better chambers in the Bay Area. And as a result, you now want to say, where do we build from this point? I want to certainly maintain the successful programs that we've had in the past, and then to kind of build onto their more members, new programs. I want to innovate a little bit so we're not just getting too predictable and doing the same things while still maintaining our responsibility to the business community.
Good, thank you, Frank. We'll take a short break now, and when we come back, we'll talk about the chamber's involvement in local issues.
Lured by the dream of owning your own small business? Being your own boss? Reality got you startled? Customers passing you by? We're SCORE, a service corps of retired executives. Call us at 1-800-237-GROW.
Oh, yeah.
Get your hands on our free small business success kit. It'll help make your dreams come true. That's 1-800-237-GROW. Or find the SBA in your telephone directory.
Welcome back to Take 53. I'm talking with Frank Strazzarino, Executive Director of the Cupertino Chamber of Commerce. Frank, over the last couple of months, the Chamber has made a number of pretty strong recommendations to the City Council. How do you view the Chamber's role in local government?
We feel we have a responsibility to stay very close to local government and the legislative process. Many of our member businesses really are 2- or 3-person shops, so as a result, they don't have the time or the information to really keep up on all the local governmental issues, and yet those issues affect them. We feel that we serve a function, a very important function for them, when we stay on top of the legislative process and give some input. Likewise, we feel that we assist the City Council and the city staff by speaking to particular issues with the perspective, because it may be a viewpoint that has not been done in the past or considered, and so we like to take the opportunity to be prepared and speak out on issues that we feel are very important. We like to think that the local officials pay some attention and do react and adjust some legislation accordingly, but we fully understand that the elected officials do have to look at the good of the entire community when they vote, and as a result, we are prepared to sometimes speak, and we win some and we lose some. We also don't like to think that we're the dominant player here. This is a diverse community. The residents care very, very deeply about this town, and we appreciate that. What we do try to project, however, is we care about this town as well, and that some of our opinions, while they may differ, need to be considered, because we would like to see the very best things happen to Cupertino as possible. And sometimes the business perspective can cast some light that has not previously been considered.
Do you think the Chamber's been pretty successful in influencing the Council on certain issues?
I think we have allowed them to focus in a little more on particular issues. I would say, however, that there's been times, our position on the De Anza Racket Club property and the fact that that's prime commercial land. I think on the Mary Avenue issue, where we spoke out in favor of that, the Council chose to do otherwise, and sometimes that happens. What we are finding that there's a real willingness to talk. Every month we have a liaison meeting with the mayor, various members of council. We meet with the city manager on a regular basis, and the dialogue and the communication is very, very good and very healthy. And I think that fairly is all we could ask. We just hope to continue to do our homework as well as possible so that we can speak to the issues effectively and in fact influence in a positive way the legislation, so things result that are the very best for the community entirely, not just business, but the entire Cupertino community.
You mentioned De Anza Racquet Club and Mary Avenue. Are there any other issues, local issues, that the Chamber's interested in now?
We are watching very closely plans for the general plan review that will take place later this year, and we are very excited about being involved in that process. We have a study committee that will be looking at that at the appropriate time. We're anxious to participate on a goals committee to work with that, and we plan to stay available for any legislation that comes up. Presently, we're working with Blaine Snyder on the business license tax that's being considered, an adjustment to that tax for the businesses in Cupertino. And we are active on a committee to look at all the options, whether we want to just have a flat increase or an employee rate or a gross receipts tax, some variation of that. We're very excited that the city has formed this committee, has brought in the business community, and asked for our opinion and input. So we're very excited about being able to influence that in a positive way so we can come up with something that's fair and equitable and still will protect the city in terms of what it needs to do.
What about the transient occupancy tax? I know the Chamber had a pretty strong view on whether or not it should be increased. Chamber members feeling that it should not be increased. And just at the last council meeting, it was increased from 7 to 8%.
We expected that move. We were very appreciative of the fact that council delayed that for a period of time while the very sensitive negotiations were taking place with the Marriott Corporation. And we thought that that was a good move with all things considered at the time. We want to be sure, again, whether it's the transient occupancy tax, business license fees, other service charges, or fees related to signs or permits, that we're in keeping with the rest of the areas that we compete with in Santa Clara County and other areas of the state. We certainly respect the city's need to generate revenue, and we appreciate that. We want to just be sure that we have not become excessive in any one area. So we understand the action the council has taken, and we really have no problem with that. Incidentally, we do applaud the city's efforts to attract the Marriott Corporation because we feel that that'll be a major attraction for the city and something that the residents can really, and all of us, can take extreme advantage of and enjoy.
Okay, when the Chamber approaches the City Council with a recommendation, what is the process leading up to that recommendation? How is consensus met among the general members of the Chamber? We
first identify an issue, often through something like the liaison meetings or conversations that we privately have with citizens, staff members, someone on City Council, and it serves as an early warning system that something is being looked at. We enjoy getting a study packet from the City Council of the information that's coming before them. And what it allows us to do is get some of the background information that staff has looked at. We have a government relations committee that meets on a monthly basis, more frequently when it needs to. And basically they look at each of the issues facing council and make a determination if and where it will impact the business community. As a result, we study that, we talk about it, and if it is felt by the committee to be important enough for the Chamber to take a position, the committee makes a recommendation to the Board of Directors that the Chamber take a stand on this particular issue. The Board will then ratify that and send a speaker, normally the Chamber President, to the City Council or the Planning Commission or ASAC, whatever level it is originating at, and speak with the Chamber position. In terms of our membership, in a sense, the board is charged by the members to take stands on particular issues. When time permits and when it's an issue that has major implications for business, we'll go back and poll our membership to try to get a feel for what's happening, either by telephone or, if time permits again, a written poll, getting a sense of where our membership is, and then we take a stand. So we try to keep close to our membership and their beliefs. At the same time, because some legislation will move quickly, we try to be as prepared as possible to speak to an issue in a timely fashion. So far, that's worked well for us, and we hope that that will continue. At the present, there's a pretty strong anti-development feeling among the community that we're finding at City Hall. That seems to run counter to the Chamber's own philosophy. How does the Chamber reconcile its pro-development stance with the residents of Cupertino? I think that we do that through a lot of dialogue. I think there are sometimes some anti-development feelings in certain members of the community, but it would probably be unfair to say that the community as a whole is anti-development, or even that the Chamber is pro-development. I like to think that we all care about a balanced community that's looking forward. Some projects, such as the Marriott that we've talked about, really will bring a lot of benefit to the city, both in the transient occupancy tax, the resultant sales tax revenue, just the fact that community can now have their activities at a major hotel facility here in town instead of moving to other areas will all be pluses that will be part of the community pride and will bring in some very positive forces. At the same time, we don't favor development at all costs. We take a very responsible viewpoint of this community, and we care a lot. I like to refer to the people that work here but don't fortunately live here as being our daytime citizens. There may be as many as 30,000 or more of those daytime citizens, and they work here, but they often eat here and shop here, and they care about what happens in this community. We care about problems that we face, be it in housing or traffic, congestion, and various problems, and these individuals care about that too. So together we kind of share in that viewpoint, and all of us, I believe, want a very balanced community that'll work for the future of Cupertino. Therefore, and ultimately, each project will be weighed on its own individual merits. On our transportation stand, we've been concerned not that we want to impact in a negative way any one neighborhood or area of town, but we have been concerned about the traffic flow. So where some people read our position on no access to Stevens Creek Boulevard, where we were very concerned about that, they thought that perhaps we were against the neighborhoods. We were very much for the neighborhoods and for the community, but felt that the flow of traffic had to permeate the entire town, and that if we did not have access from to Stevens Creek Boulevard, we in fact would not have solved any of the problems that are going on in town, and we would in fact create new problems at North De Anza Boulevard.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Among city officials, there's a concern about the sales tax revenues. They seem to be down, and not everybody knows why. Maybe you could give us some insight as to why you think that is.
Certainly. We spend a lot of time talking about that. The newly elected president of the Chamber, Pat Jackson, and I have had a series of meetings with Valco Fashion Park. We've met with the Orchard Valley folks, Cupertino Crossroads, the Oaks, just to talk about sales in general in Cupertino, how it's going, why things are down. We certainly recognize that we have strong competition from Stanford and from Valley Fair, and we keep a close eye on that. And yet at the same time, we're getting early reports that those numbers are turning around and the sales tax revenue is coming out much better than it has in previous years. We have the Retail Council of the Chamber, which is formed for the promotion of sales. It has the banner and the logo, Shop Cupertino, and everything the council does is to promote people shopping here. Recently, we've given all of our chamber members little cards to give out saying, I came to you because you're a member of the chamber and I want to support your business. And the Retail Council itself, through such activities as Public Schools Week, the World's Greatest Sale, and our recent radio campaign, is working hard to continue to promote the idea of Shop Cupertino, our mix of shops, easy parking and access, and we keep hitting home on that theme. In the coming year, we plan to hit on that theme more and more and get the message out that this is a wonderful place to shop. In this particular area, I would applaud the city for putting some resources into the chamber as well so we could have bigger campaigns, better advertising, better promotion, and it has really allowed us to do a much better job of promoting our town.
What about Valco Fashion Park? Any indication there that they may be getting another anchor store?
They have worked very hard to do that. We've had some private meetings with them to discuss some of the different options and some of the things that they're looking at. They've been very open with us in saying that their desire is to continue to upgrade the center and do some interesting and exciting things. They fly back to New York frequently to talk, whether it's a Bloomingdale's or whatever group, to find out what their interest is in coming into California. And they make those overtures because they're very committed to getting another anchor. The dialogue is very healthy. We've been privy to some information of negotiations that have gone on. I do know this, they're working very hard to do that because that's felt to be another reason that will help them to do better in that particular center.
You've mentioned some general services that the Chamber provides to the community. Can you think of any specific services that you're giving to the residents?
Absolutely. Residents call us all the time, every day, and we're pleased to talk with them and answer the questions that they have. Naturally, we have the full array of community directories, maps that we give out. We have quite a bit of tourist information and even information on doing wine tours and specialized maps and directories. So residents do call us, they do visit, they come by when they have relatives coming out to look at some of the materials that they have, or they have friends that have considered moving to this area. So we're always very pleased to help them with that and also answer their questions. Cupertino Community Services does some very wonderful things. Not everyone knows about them, and sometimes the people will call the Chamber with a social type of a problem. We make those types of referrals regularly and are pleased to do that, and we feel that's a service to the community. Some of the other programs that we have, obviously the Citizen of the Year is a real opportunity for us to honor an outstanding citizen from the city of Cupertino that has made a significant contribution to this town. And through the schools, we have a number of programs. Student of the Month, which results after 6 students are chosen in the selection of finally the Student of the Year. We have Project Banking, Project Mathematics, which they call Mathematics in Everyday Life, and Project Stock Market. And all those types of programs allow business to work closely with the students and the citizens to give them a better flavor for what happens in the business community. Even the Business Mentor program has taken off to be a bigger success than in past years because it matches a student with a mentor, someone in a career field they aspire to or would perhaps like to explore more, and it gives them the opportunity to make that match and find out how someone really spends their day. Coming out of those types of programs have been some permanent relationships, and we're very pleased to see that. So we're always excited about those types of programs with the community, and we're always looking for additional things that we can do.
Okay, fine. Do you have in mind any additional types of services that you'll be planning on in the future?
We haven't made any immediate plans except to expand on what we're presently doing. We have been excited about expanding some of our medical benefits that the Chamber has, as well as credit union membership and a long-term income disability program. But the Board of Directors, where they recently met at Asilomar to have a 3-day retreat, talked a lot about other ways we can be active in the community, especially because in the area of education, it is so important to our community because that is our future workforce. So there's been some dialogue there. In March, we will be having a symposium, which will be a gathering of some of the bright minds in our county to talk about where we're going in the future, what Cupertino is going to be, future workforce, transportation problem, density, housing, and come together and have a day or two of strong and effective dialogue on the subject of where are we going, where will we be by the year 2000 and beyond. So we're very excited about that because that is something that's important to business, but truly important to all the residents and members of the Cupertino community.
Okay. Fine. We'll talk a little bit more about the future of the Cupertino Chamber of Commerce when we come back from this commercial break.
McGruff here with Regina to sing Users Are Losers.
Users are losers and losers are users. So don't use drugs, don't use drugs. If you know a user even part of the time, tell him to quit.
Take a bite out of crime.
Users are losers and losers are users. So don't use drugs.
And help me take a bite out of crime.
Hey, Charlie, looks like you could use a shoulder to cry on.
There's one in here somewhere.
Vince, what are you doing?
Getting out of the crash dummy business. No way I'm ending up like Charlie there.
But, Vince, how else can we prove safety belts save lives?
We could buckle up.
How many times I gotta tell you, we're dummies. We don't wear safety belts.
Vince, Larry, your number's up.
Could save a life.
No, I'm with you, partner.
Yeah.
Vince, break a leg.
A regular comedian.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
We're back now with Frank Strazzarino from the Chamber of Commerce. Frank, what do you see as the greatest challenges in the future for the Chamber?
I think one of our main challenges will be to continue to grow as a chamber. As I mentioned, we enjoy 560 members. However, we feel with 2,000 or more businesses in town that we would like to have a greater market share. That would allow the Chamber to climb to be a 750, 850, perhaps a 1,000-member organization, which I think will allow us to expand our programs and activities, to speak with greater resources when we address different groups, and to be more effective as an entity. We also would like to expand our member benefits so we can continue delivering to our membership all the values that they come to expect and enjoy as members of the Chamber, and also on a continuing basis to demonstrate the value of belonging to the Chamber. Businesses and individuals look very closely at the dollars they spend and try to see what type of return. So I'm very committed, the Chamber Board is very committed to demonstrating the value of belonging to a chamber, how we deliver to our members, how we are effective in the various things we do, and how we care about the community.
And you mentioned that the Chamber does sponsor various special events. Is that one way that it promotes itself?
It certainly is. Our major event every August is the Country Festival, and it's been a tremendous success, and we look forward to it each time of the year and hope that every community member comes out and enjoys the activities that take place, which are varied, they're enjoyable, everything from food and entertainment and arts. And if you have never been there before, it certainly is a no-miss activity. It's growing to now 30,000 people that come out and really enjoy themselves, and we look forward to doing it every August.
Good. Is there a special way that one becomes a member of the Chamber?
We are always interested in members, and we invite any community member, resident, business owner, business employee to call the Chamber office, and we'd be pleased to send them literature on what the Chamber is and what we do, as well as an application blank. And we find that if you do join, you will enjoy the experiences you have, and it will be most worthwhile.
Okay, Frank, before we close, is there anything that you'd like to say in addition to what we've been talking to about the Chamber?
Just basically that this is a Chamber that cares deeply about the community. We don't always stand together, but I think that's very healthy. We are anxious to assist in any way that we can with the growth and development of Cupertino, both internally and externally, and we are very excited about the programs that we have for the coming year, and we look forward to people coming to our events and activities and participating. And I would extend an open invitation to any member of the community that has never been to a Chamber luncheon or mixer to please come and join us and meet some of the fine people associated with the Chamber.
Frank, I'd like to thank you today for being with us and talking about the Cupertino Chamber of Commerce. And I'd like to thank you, too, for watching Take 53 on Municipal Channel 53.